Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of my makeup collection series. For this video, I'm going to be working on my single eyeshadows, duos, and quads. I do have quite a few to go through, but there are a couple of them that have their own separate swatch videos, so I will link them down below. These here are my older NARS duos as well as some singles that I've kept. I did have, I believe, upwards of 18 or 19, but I did declutter a few of them and gave them to friends and family friends. By the way, my nails look hideous. They aren't naturally yellow. I had made some kale chips and I like to put turmeric in them, so they stained. This is our first one, and that one is in Star Sailor. This one is in Kuala Lumpur. Here we have Surabaya. This is actually one of my favorites. Charade, barely used, but did not want to give this up. I honestly am not sure of the pronunciation of this one. I say Burmese, but it might be Brumis. Regardless of the pronunciation, it is a beautiful duo. Here we have Montague. It is a very basic color selection, but still could come in handy. Portobello. This is the same as Montague, kind of everyday basic shades, but again, I love the quality of NARS shadows, so I don't mind having them. Cheyenne. Stunning. Isolde. I believe this is one of their most popular ones and happens to be one of my favorites. Look at that. This is in Kalahari. Cordura, darker duo. St. Paul de Vence. This is one of the latter ones that I had purchased quite some time back, I want to say. And lastly, I have Mediterranean. Look at that orange shade. Okay, so let's move on to singles. These are my older ones that I've had for some time. The first one I have here is in Nepal. And this is what that looks like. If you'd like a separate video on swatches for these single shadows that I own, please let me know. I just don't want to take up too much time in this video, but I will more than gladly be able to create that for you since I've done a ton of swatches on this channel already. Next up is Lola Lola. There you go. I would describe this color as a brown with a kind of like taupish undertone. Sophia, and for the shade it is a kind of a reddened brown. Here is Undine. Now this is a dark brown, but it does have a purple undertone. This is Voyage. Tell me that isn't gorgeous. Like, I can just stare at it. Here we have Blondie. This is a cool tone brown. This is Fez. This is a pretty popular shade. Kind of your typical medium to dark tone brown with a gold undertone. Galapagos, another very popular one. This is a deep or blackened brown with a lot of gold shimmer in it. Coconut Grove. Now this is similar to Galapagos in that it's kind of that blackened brown. I'd say this is more black than the other one, but this does not have the shimmer in it. This is purely a matte shade. And lastly, for my older single shadows, I have Ashes to Ashes. It is pretty similar to, I believe, the first or second single shadow that I showed you. NARS. Okay, I do have 3 dual intensity shadows to show you. This first one here, we have Himalaya. I used to say Himalaya. Out of the 3 that I own, this has to be my favorite one. Next we have Dion or Dion, and the closest I can describe this to, like in reference to color, it's a yellow or golden silver. And this one is either Regal, Rigel, I'm not sure. NARS, can you make them a lot easier to pronounce? And this is a pink gold. This one here is very new. I have not used it yet. The shadow here is in Pattaya. I had made a purchase on Macy's to kind of do my last hurrah when it comes to makeup purchasing. I did only purchase 3 things that I wanted ish, and I'll explain that in a little bit. This will be like a little side note story, but I had purchased a lighter foundation of the Estee Lauder Double Wear because the one that I own is a bit too dark and I just wanted something to mix it with. But in terms of what I wanted to buy, I did purchase this single shadow as well as it's a liquid lipstick, and that liquid lipstick will show up in a future makeup collection video when I show you what lip products I decided to keep on my vanity. And the only other thing that I purchased was it. I did want it, but it was more so like I wanted to have an affordable option for eyeshadows. I've tried drugstore products for every area of the face, trust me, but since decluttering, I did get rid of majority of my drugstore or affordable makeup and told myself I needed to have at least a few options for affordable makeup. So I only wanted to do powder products because my face or liquid products would just go bad if I had so many options. So I do have pressed and loose face powder. I have a drugstore highlighter. I have a drugstore bronzer, but I don't own any drugstore eyeshadows. However, I've already tried drugstore eyeshadows, so I decided to just go with an indie brand because I've never purchased from indie brands before. And I did my research, and it just seems like Juvia's Place was the one that kept popping up. So I did purchase 3 of their most popular eyeshadow palettes, and that should be coming in a couple weeks. I am excited about it, but it was honestly more so like I wanted to have affordable options in my collection, and my goal is to go on a no-buy at least until July of next year. I know it's not going to be that hard for me. Honestly, I'm very content with what I have. So if I can stretch it to a year, then that's what we're going to do. Anyways, side note over. This is the eyeshadow, and it comes as no surprise. This is one of their more metallic shades. You can actually pop them out and kind of mix and match however you like, which is great because you can't do that with the other ones. It's just my typical eyeshadow shade. Okay, moving on to Tom Ford. This one, I'm going to link the swatch video in the bottom box or description box below because I did do a swatch series on these quads here. This is 01 in Golden Mink. And if the shades up here look like this, they can either be sort of a intense topper shade or metallic shades. They look beautiful on the lids. And I know these are expensive. I get it. I think now they're like 88 bucks. But I honestly would buy them because this is one of my favorite eyeshadow qualities or formulas, I should say. Next we have Coco Mirage. This here is an all matte palette. Seductive Rose, more of a cool tone quad. Disco Dust. I think it's fair to say that that top left shade was well loved. Cognac Sable. I seriously love this one, and if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on it, but I think this was my first Tom Ford quad. Nude Dip. This is another cool tone quad, and these are all shimmer shades. Honeymoon. Shut your face. Let's just swatch this one. Are we focused? Are we focused? Are we focused? Oh my god. Lastly, we have Orchid Haze. Surprisingly, this does really remind me of orchids. These two here are quads that I purchased from the first Patrick Starrr collection, and these include quite a few of my favorite MAC eyeshadows. This quad here is called Glam AF, and the eyeshadows included here are Brulee. Oh my god, I can't pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try. Saddle and Embark. Doesn't this quad just scream Annabelle? This and the second one, I probably could survive on these 8 shades for the rest of my life. By the way, if you didn't already know, I do have my top MAC eyeshadow single shadows, a video that I've done already with swatches, so if you're interested in that, I will link that down below for you as well. This next quad is called Goal Getter, and the 4 shades in here are Soft Brown, Amber Lights, Swiss Chocolate, and I'm Into It. I'm Into It is the only non-permanent shade in this quad. Everything else you can find. And as far as the other quad is concerned, only Oh My God isn't a permanent shade. Jeez Louise. This is like the perfect palette. Look at it. These here are my first 3 and only Makeup Forever shadows. I've been wanting to try them for years, but Sephora does not ship to me at all. I begged them like 5 times already via email, but it's not in my cards. So the 3 shades that I have here are M726, M738, and L634. I'm just gonna stare at it. Just stare. This is my one and only Burberry eyeshadow in Pale Barley, number 22. This once was a very sought after shade. It's sold out all the time, but I finally got my hands on it, and I can't get rid of this no matter how much I want to. This is gorgeous on the lids. I have a hard time with more cool tone shimmery shades going on my lids because it kind of turns too ashy on me, but for some reason this just works. This is my Lone Etude House, or Korean, or K-Beauty I should say, product, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is the only one that I own, and this is a single shadow, and this is from their Look at My Eyes Cafe eyeshadow line. This one is in BR403, and the only reason I have this, I do have another one that's open on my vanity, but I keep this to contour my nose with. This one is in Antique to Gold. Look, are we looking? I've barely made a dent in this, and I've had this for quite some time. Now these I got as samples from Makeup Geek when they still sold. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but pigments and reflex from MAC, just sample sizes, because when will you ever go through a whole tub of this? So the one that I just showed you was in Melon. Next up we have Vanilla. It's kind of more of a satin shade, and this does come in pressed version as well. Tan. Oh my lord. Naked, similar to Vanilla, a few shades darker, but it does have the same finish. And lastly, Reflex Pearl. Ooh, look at that fairy dust. Gorgeous. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this second collection video. Coming up, I'll probably do my highlighters and bronzers together because quite frankly there aren't a lot of them, so I can put them in one video, but I feel like I'm liking the way that I film these because you get more of an up-close look as opposed to just like staring at me, and I don't have to do my makeup, so win-win. If you like this video, go ahead and click the red subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate it. And also be sure to check me out on Instagram. I will always list all my makeup products that I use to put makeup looks together, regardless if it's makeup related or not. So the link will be in the description box as well. Till the next video, I hope you all are doing well, taking really good care of yourselves. I will see you all next time. Bye guys.